Hi and welcome to this tutorial on the app Adobe Rush. I will in this video show you how you can edit your mobile phone videos with the Adobe Rush app. First you have to open the app, and to download it you can download a free version, but you can only have 3 videos or something very small as a free version, so you would probably have to pay for a subscription for you to make sense to learn this app. So I assume that you have done that. And when you then open the app, it's going to look something like this. So you want to create a new project, which you can give a title if you want. So I can call it Cafe, because I'm going to edit a video about one of our volunteer cafes. And then you can see in the bottom left corner, it says sync with CC, so that's sync with your computer. And I have turned that on, and that means that anything that I edit and download and the project that I make on my mobile phone, I can also work on my computer. So it will be synchronized with the Adobe Rush program on the computer. So that's really useful if maybe you're also more people working on the same project. So here's just some sample media, but I want to go and get my own media. So I go down and I can go into my videos, for instance, or my albums. I will choose my favorites album and choose some of the interview clips I have from the cafe. So it could be this one and this one and this one. So 3 interview clips. So now I have imported the 3 clips, as you can see. And before I start editing those clips, let me just give you an introduction to the different features of this Adobe app. You can see the big screen is where you have your footage, and then you have the timeline that you can go back and forth to if you swipe along the line. And in the bottom, you have different options. You have your files and projects that you have stored, which is the box. Then you have the timeline view is the second one, where you can split out once you have several layers or audio clips. I push it again to get back to the original timeline view. And then the Adobe Rush app has the advantage that you can actually change the format to either portrait or square even after you have been doing some editing. So if you want to change the format, you can also do it here, but we will for now just stay in the landscape mode. Then you have different other options. You have the titles, where you add different kind of titles to your movie. You have the transitions between clips. We will get back to this. Color settings, if you want different filters on it. You have the speed, if you want to speed up your video or slow it down. Then you have audio, where you can put different music or voiceovers. And then you have transform, which is if you want to crop your picture, for instance, or video. And further out we have scissors, which is for cutting and editing your video clips and the length of them. Then you have the plus, which is a copy, if you want to copy a clip. And we have the trash can, which is if you want to delete clips. The last 2 features are the one I pushed, which separates the sound bar, the sound track from your video, but we don't want that one, so we'll push it again. And the last one is the selection tool. So right now we just have 1 layer, so actually it's just the video that will get selected when we push that one. All right, on the top right, if you have some feedback for the app, oops, which we don't want to give right now. You have the arrow, which is the share button when you finish your project. Then you have the very important button, the undo button, the arrow back. So whenever you edit something that doesn't work out, you can always undo. And the screen button is if you want a full screen view or you want to hide the big screen. That's if you work on like a lot of layers. So probably you will not need that one. Okay, so let's start the editing. So first I want to clean all my basic shots. Now I have just chosen a few of them. Usually you would probably have a lot more. But let's see where this interview starts. For instance, if we start with the first clip, I played from the beginning. Volunteering at Café Mellemrummet.
Well, I think if you're looking for a community...
So you can see I want to cut out my own question in the beginning. So the way I do that is I tap the clip and then I hold with my finger. I tap it. Here, I can also press the selection tool at the bottom right if it doesn't select. So when you want to start editing your video, it's really good to know how you can zoom on your timeline so you can get a bit more space to work with. So the way you do it is basically hold down 2 fingers and slide it out. And it's not that the clip now becomes longer, it's just that it takes up more space on your timeline so you can work more in detail. So as I said, I want to cut out the beginning of the clip. So I listen to where it is. So let's say it's about here. Then I can either push the clip or the selection tool on the bottom right corner that highlights it. And then I can push the handle and make it a bit shorter. So let's see.
Well, I think if you're looking for a community...
It's still there, so let me just stop it right after Mellemrummet. Before he starts talking, then I can push the scissors button in the bottom. And you can see it automatically cuts out or cuts the footage into 2 parts. So I can delete the first part with the trash can. And if it doesn't fit exactly, you know, you can always listen and get the details correct. So let's just hear if I cut it the right place.
Well, I think if you're looking for a community, a family, some good friends.
Okay, so that worked fine. And I can do that with the rest of the clips as well. So now we have done the basic cleaning of the longer interview shots. So we want to have some cutaway pictures that can support what he talks about. So he's happy being a volunteer there. Let's get some atmosphere pictures that supports it. So I want to add more media. I push the plus button in the bottom left corner and then I go to media. You can see there's also the functions capture, which is if you want to just film something else right there on the spot. You can add titles here also. And the last one is the voiceover if you want to record something you're speaking over your video. But for now, we just go to media. So here we're in the media. So I want to get something from my different albums. I have saved it in my favorites. So some of the cover pictures are, for instance, playing the guitar, having a good time, here. So we push the add button. Then we have 3 cover pictures coming in. And the good thing in the Adobe app, is, now I will just zoom in again to get the overview, is that you actually just press the cover picture that you want to have up and you add it on top of your line. You can see now it jumps to the top of the line. So here he's talking, actually. Let's cut it a bit shorter so we can better see. I'm just zooming out. You can see now I'm making it shorter by just pushing the left handle. So you can see the shot starts like this, and then they will play the dice. So that's one nice picture. Maybe we will have another one of where they're just rolling the dice. We will add it on top here also. A little bit of that. And playing the guitar is also actually this one, this picture. It's also a bit long, so we can just again push the handle also from the other side, and we have a little shot of him playing guitar that we can put on top of it. Yeah, so that's how you put in cutaway videos that can really support what the volunteer is saying. When we have our cover videos, our cutaway videos, you still have the audio from those clips. So the way we get it away is that we mark the clip, then we press the audio, and you can see there is mute clip. So that automatically mutes the clip, and you have to do that for all the 3 clips. So that when he speaks, that it just, you just see the picture, but you don't hear the sound, because that would be interrupting in his voice. So another thing you can add is also pictures. So let's say we want to add a picture here. Again, I go to my plus, I go to my media, and now it's all videos, so I have to go back and find my albums, to my camera roll. Go back to my camera roll and we can see there's some nice pictures here from events and volunteer meetings that we will add. Again, it will land onto the basic timeline, but then you can quickly move it up by just tapping it. And you can see, if you cannot find the selection tool, maybe you have to zoom over, and then it will select if you keep pushing it. Then you can tap it. Oop, where did it go? I don't know where it went, so quickly I will just press the undo button and do it again. I will tap the picture and move it up here, for instance. Then it comes while he's talking here about the volunteers. And as you can see now, the picture is smaller than the actual width of the screen. So we want to go in and crop the picture and zoom in on it. So the way we do that is that we go to transform. You can see in the bottom there's the transform button. And here you can have different options of how to transform it. So if you go to the right, we will use the one that's called scale width. And when you see, you can slide it back and forth of how big you want it. So we want it to fill out the whole screen, but also we want it to be a bit more lower. So you can say, if you go back, there is one called height position, which is now 960. If you take that one, we can slide it to the side. So actually, that's not the one we want. We want this one. It's not the height, it's the horizontal position. So we want to press the V position, which is the vertical position. So here we got it a bit down. So that's a nice shot from a party. So we can have that there. And now when he's talking, that shot will come in. Unfortunately, this Adobe Rush app does not yet have the Ken Burns effect. So it means you cannot have that effect where the picture is kind of moving when you have it as part of your video. But maybe they will update the app, since I can see online a lot of people are complaining about that. But this is also fine with a still picture. Now we have added our layer picture, and we wanted to transition in, like fade into the picture instead of just being a jump cut picture into our video. As you can see now, now it just kind of comes in like that. So we want to add a transition, which we do in the bottom baseline again. You can see transitions. You press that one, and then you can choose different. You can have dip to black, dip to white. The one I use the most is the cross dissolve transition. So if you go now on your timeline, you can see that it will kind of dissolve in. If you wanted to fade in for a longer period of time, you could even maximize the duration. So now you could see that it's really like spending a lot of time of fading in and fading out. So that's how you get the transitions. You can also do that between the clips. For instance, between these two video clips, it's exactly the same. You go in, you do the you go in and you do the transitions, and then you can have again the cross dissolve between those two clips. What you need to notice is that if you have the transitions between two video clips, then it will eat a bite of each of the video clips. The next thing I want to show you is how to add text to your video, because maybe we want to give our volunteer Audrius a title so people know his name and that he's a volunteer. So the way you do it is you go back and you have here titles, as you can see. So you have different titles to choose from. Let's just choose a basic lower left title here, where you could add his name, Audrius, and he's a volunteer. Good. So when you want to move around this title, again, you can go down to the transform and you can choose what should be the horizontal position, where should the title be, or what should be the vertical position, or the opacity of it, etc. And you can crop it to the right, crop it to the left. That's also more when you have pictures actually that you want to crop in the transform function. So let's just see how it looks now that we have it. Actually, let's move it a little bit earlier, like this. I move it a bit, and let's see how it looks.
Well,
when
I think if you're looking for a community, a family, some good friends, and
so again,
to do something for.
I think the title would be nice to fade in and out. So you do that again in the transitions like I showed you before. That will give it a nice smooth effect coming in and out. And you can choose so many different kind of text. This was just a title, but if you also want to have more bold text, especially if you're making just texted videos, you can, now I'm just writing something here, and then you can again choose different styles. You can have the font size up and down. You can have character spacing up and down. There are so many different features that you can explore. You can have a colorful, and you get the color palette by pushing the white color there. And then you can see it can have a different color. Maybe he likes pink. Maybe we want it to be pink. Again, you can time the length of the clip by just pushing it and then, keeping it very long or very short. Yeah. So it doesn't look that pretty, so let's just delete it for now, but I hope it gave you some tools for how to add text of a video. So we will delete it down here in the trash can to the very right. There it is. We can see his face. So the last thing I want to do is add some music to my video. So again, I go into the plus, and then I can have media, not the camera roll, but maybe I want to push the audio. So Rush has some different soundtracks that you can choose. So here you can listen through the different options that you have. Maybe Hammock is nice, I know that one. It's a cozy one, so I put add. And now the hammock will lay in the bottom of my interview. So let's just hear how that sounds.
A family, some good friends, and to do something.
So what you really need to be careful is that your audio soundtrack doesn't is not too loud for you to hear what the interview person is saying. So you wanna have the volume down, which you do by pushing, selecting the clip, pushing audio, and then you can have the clip volume, and you can set it down a bit, so you can better hear what he says. And then Adobe Rush has a really cool feature, which is that it automatically puts the volume up and down when people are speaking and when they're not speaking. So let's say we have a clip. Let's just actually take this picture, put it down into the main timeline in the middle, because then nobody will be speaking. And I can show you how to do that volume. Okay, so I have to select my song. Or it could also be the voiceover, but in this time a song. And you want to make it automatically go up and down, so you push the audio. And then you see it says auto duck off. And that's the one you want to turn on. So you mark it, then you mark it in the right corner. So let's just hear how it sounds now that the auto volume is on.
Stuff and interesting events. I can only recommend. So this is the bar area.
So you can see the volume of the music automatically goes up and down. So that's a really nice feature. So that were some of the basic editing steps that I could show you for now in this Adobe Rush app. Let me show you how to export your video. So you go to the top right corner, you see the arrow where you say ready to export. And you always want to export in the best or the highest quality possible, so you don't ruin anything of your video. So you just press the export button. Then it will just take some time. Now your video is ready to share, and it's done now, so it will be saved to your camera roll or a gallery, or you could share it directly on different social media accounts. So that was a basic introduction. Of course, you can find out so much more with all the cool features there are, and especially you can keep editing the movie or share it with others on the computer, since we synced it, the project. So if you also want to work more with it on the computer, you are free to do that.